This video I'm going to tear down a 12-volt lithium battery that a vendor told me I could dispose of after I spent quite a bit of time trying to get it to charge. I ended up hooking the battery up to the charger well over a dozen times hoping I could get it past this sulfation code, but it wouldn't, so I'm not sure what the problem was since lithium batteries don't sulfate. This is the first battery that I've torn apart, and I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, so I will experiment with my multi-tool and grinder with a cutoff wheel installed. So I will start with the multi-tool and then see if I can tell if I'm through the plastic using a light, but I'm not, so I decide to switch over to my grinder assuming it will get through the plastic faster. And I assume right, so I'll grind through most of the plastic to create a little gap so I can see when I'm through all the way, which I will switch back over to the multi-tool to cut through the rest of the plastic. And I will keep the tool flat with the front of the battery case and steady the tool using my knuckle, which should also help prevent me from going in too far and cutting cables. Then when I think I'm all the way through the front, I'll do the same thing for both sides and figure out a better technique for creating the gap with my grinder so it's easier to cut with my multi-tool. Next I'll try using a crowbar, thinking I might have to pry some plastic apart, but it doesn't work how I think it will, so I end up going back to using the multi-tool to make sure I'm cut all the way through. And all I have left is the back side, and I get through it pretty fast now that I have figured out a fairly efficient way to get through the thick plastic of the case. Here I'm going to lay down some cement board on my workbench, and then I'll try to figure out how to detach the cables from the top plastic that I just cut off. I decide to lay the battery on its side with the bolts on top, so I can get to the nuts keeping the cables on, but I have a hard time getting them off since it has some sort of Loctite on the bolts. I take the top bolts out so I can see inside to make sure it's threaded all the way through, and it looks like it is, so I will go back to working on the nuts where I finally break the first one loose. And after detaching the first cable, I'll flip the battery around to break the other nut free so I can detach the last cable that will allow me to remove the top plastic piece. There appears to be some burn marks in the top, but I bought this refurbished, so someone probably ruined it and then returned it to a distribution center that wasn't set up for testing properly. Now I inspect the internal components to see if it would be safe for me to turn upside down, and it has a bunch of padding, so I'll flip it over and pull the rest of the plastic off to fully expose the BMS and battery cells. Then I'll flip it back over and start to inspect how it is put together, and I didn't expect for the cells to be on the sides, but they are, with the BMS attached to straps that hold the four cells together. So I'll examine the batteries a little longer, looking for anything that would explain the marks on the top plastic, but I don't really see anything, so I will start to take the padding off. They seem attached with a relatively strong glue that ends up ripping the oval stickers off the batteries, which I will try to salvage, but I end up giving up on that since these are probably bad cells. So it looks like a fairly simple design that consists of four 3.2-volt cells joined together in series with a battery management system connected to the cells to create this 12-volt battery. I don't know enough about lithium batteries to know if any of this is salvageable, but I need to get rid of this battery, so I figured I would do a video for anyone curious about what's inside of one. Hopefully this video has helped, and feel free to ask any questions that you still may have in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more quick and on-point videos.